Welcome, everybody, to a very special Knights of Eveningstar one-shot for D&D Celebration, which I think we're closing out, sort of. We're at the very end. We hope you've had a wonderful D&D celebration, enjoying tons of amazing games, celebrating all of this cool D&D stuff. But yeah, we are here to bring you another one-shot adventure. I'm the Dungeon Master, Mark Hulmes. You may know me from my own show, High Rollers, as well as Kaliana from Critical Role and various other appearances here and there as well. And joining me are my wonderful players. We have Anna Prosser, we have Nate Sharp, Mica Burton, and Jonathan Indovino. I can never pronounce it because I know him as ShadyPenguinn.
You did it, though. That was amazing.
That was good. I got it.
Yeah.
I thought, this is a special occasion. I'll say your real name as opposed to just the moniker I know you by.
Awesome.
How are you guys? Are you guys all well? Are you ready for some D&D action?
Yeah, I've been having a great time at the D&D celebration.
What a
Unless
wonderful
something
time.
has gone horribly wrong, in which case, we had no idea.
You just completely ruined the illusion, Nate.
I'm just trying to cover all our bases here.
We have been having either a great, terrible, or neutral time. Choose accordingly. At
Good,
this
evil,
D&D.
neutral time.
Yes.
Nate's like, what's that? A fourth wall?
For those of you who have never seen Knights of Eveningstar before, we're a weekly game here on the D&D Twitch every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific. The campaign is set in the nation of Cormyr and features a group of nobles and advisors attempting to run a small town called Eveningstar. But this is going to be a little special one-shot where we were going to be visiting Icewind Dale as part of Rime of the Frost Maiden, the new adventure, which is now out and available. So go and check that out as part of this whole shebang. Lovely players, would you mind giving our audience a little introduction to who you will be playing today? And we will start with Mr. Nate Sharp.
Oh, snap. I'm going first. All right. Well,
yeah.
My character is Marcel. He is a high elf eldritch knight. He's a sad, broody little edge boy, and he wears a face mask for whatever reason.
Safety and health.
Mm-hmm. Can't be too careful with that air.
Yeah. Anna, please tell us who you are playing.
I'm playing Agnis Crownsilver. Her family insists it's pronounced Agnis, but she bucks that tradition because she resents the nobility, even though she was born noble. She focuses on trying to do what's best for the people, but sometimes doesn't quite recognize her own indoctrination into that nobility. But she's a wood elf wildfire druid, and that means that she can summon a fire spirit that is in the shape of a little baby phoenix.
A little tiny baby bird. Lovely. Wonderful. Mica, who are you playing?
Hello, I'm playing Azara Mithras. She is a high elf draconic sorcerer of the blue dragon bloodline. She is a powerful war wizard and now appointed magister of Eveningstar. She doesn't quite vibe with the way that nobility, has been in the past, in her past histories, but she also realizes that in order to make change, you have to play the game. So she also partakes in balls and political subterfuge and kissing of the ass and such. She's kind of like a hard candy with a little crunch, a little soft middle. She's really hard to determine, very hard on the outside, but yeah. She just is soft and wants the best for everybody on the inside. But you would never know that.
You never know. Nobody would ever know.
Nobody
and then finally, Mr. ShadyPenguinn, who are you playing?
So I'm playing Tarkhal Crownsilver, and he was the estranged son, but he has been brought into nobility and is loving what he's been doing. It's been a ton of fun. He's a rogue, and he has a dope little dagger that I hope I'm going to get to use today, because I kind of been itching to use my dagger, honestly.
He's my half brother.
Yes, we're half siblings, the half of us.
And,
half of us are siblings.
Be careful what you wish
This
for,
half.
Shady. That's all I'm going to say. Be careful what you wish for.
You've doomed us all.
No, I want it. Bring the violence, Mark. Let's have it.
Well, let's play some Dungeons and Dragons, shall we?
Yes.
We are going to begin the day in Eveningstar, in Cormyr, the rolling green hills of Cormyr, the lush and delicate and ancient woods that surround the Forest Kingdom. But we find all of you in your keep, Starwatch Keep, which looks over the village of Eveningstar, as a new day begins. But that day is immediately brought to a kind of full attention as your Seneschal Dusk immediately alerts you that there is a visitor waiting for you. And without kind of wasting any time, Dusk informs you, like, I should let you know that it is Lady Crownsilver. It is Agnis's and Tarkhal's mother.
Mom?
She is here. And he quickly makes excuses to go and prep everything, giving you a brief moment of time. But when you arrive, and he does make sure that all of you attend, she has requested to speak with all four of you. But when you make your way downstairs to the main throne room of the keep, you see standing there, looking a little bored in a sense, with a pack of various thick cloaks and furs by her feet, a very tall wood elf woman. It's difficult to place her age. Like all elves, there is an element of agelessness about her, full of grace and delicate beauty. But she's tall, athletic, tan skin. Her hair is very similar to Agnes's, but not quite as bright. It's kind of more of a blondie red than the full bright orange flames that Agnis has. You can see that she wears a breastplate, carries a slender rapier, and yeah, she's got this air of confidence and boldness. And when she sees all of you arrive, she smiles quite broadly, and when her eyes especially fall on Agnis, she's just like, "Oh, my little Agni, it's so good to see you, my dear." And she kind of makes her way over and goes to kind of wrap her arms around you, Agnis, when she sees you.
Agnis does the, like, hello, mother.
She kind of finishes like patting you on the shoulder and smiling. She looks to Tarkhal. Tarkhal, so wonderful to see you. I hope that you have been doing well here in Eveningstar.
Yes, Mom, I have. And he bows deeply, very deeply.
There's no need for that. There's no need for that. Not today. But everything is settled in. I had a brief moment to speak with your Seneschal, but the two of you seem to be doing very well. Things seem to be going very well here in Eveningstar. I'm very proud of you. So is your father.
Well, as long as the people are happy, then things are going well, yes.
Oh, yes. The people, I understand, Agnis. Of course they're happy that you are doing a good job of ruling. Therefore, they will be happy. So that goes without saying. And Tarkhal, you seem to be doing very well. But I have not had the pleasure yet of meeting these advisors that I believe that you have been given the services of. And she turns to Azara and to Marcel. She kind of inclines her head. I am Venathia Crownsilver. I am Agnis's and Tarkhal's mother. It is good to meet you. I've been told many great things about the both of you.
Azara curtsies very deeply and respectfully and is like, "Your Grace, I've heard wonderful things. You have raised quite a capable leader. We are so happy to have Agnis as our Baroness and Tarkhal as our Baron." And she curtsies again.
I was going to say, just the one. Well, I must admit, I unfortunately have been a bit absent from Tarkhal's upbringing, but I know his father would have raised him to be a good man, and I'm pleased to hear that. Thank you for your kind words, Magister. I have heard many similar things about yourself. I know Demelin quite well, and he speaks very highly of you. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. And you, our masked stranger, Minister Marcel. I heard a little bit of your mercenary work, but I do find it strange to find you in such a prominent position. How have you found Eveningstar? How have you found my children?
It all suffices.
Yes, I am told that you're a man of few words. Well, I feel that words won't really be much necessary. There's not a lot of time. I was hoping that I could perhaps invite you all to, well, not really assist me. I am making a trip out of Cormyr. I am visiting a place called Icewind Dale. It's quite far from here, north of the Sword Coast. I have some business to speak with an old contact of mine there, and I thought that it would do you rather good, especially you, Agnis, and you, Tarkhal, to see lands outside of Cormyr, to witness how things are in the rest of Faerun, in the rest of Toril. I've had my adventures across a few places here and there. I feel that you should kind of have the same. And of course, Magister, the invitation applies to you as well. If you wish to get out of Eveningstar for the day, I'd be more than happy to bring you along.
Well, wherever our Baron and Baroness go, we must go as well to make sure that they are aptly protected. Not that you don't have, I'm sure, the most capable hands. It always makes me feel better to have a little bit of extra protection for them.
Spoken like a true magister. The truth is as well, I may not require your services, but it may be good to have a second opinion. One of the reasons I'm traveling there is my friend has told me some strange news about events going on in Icewind Dale. It may be good to have somebody of your magical caliber along for the matter. And Minister, you as well, the offer is there if you wish to join us. Escape the stuffy nobility for a day, see some folks.
I mean, if I say no, do I just watch the session?
Yeah.
He will give a long, thought-out, very well-worded.
Well, I won't take that as a no then. If you wish to bring anybody else with you as well, by all means, I can accommodate another 2 people in my transportation. If you wish to bring anybody else along with you.
Agnes, is there anyone we should bring?
I'm wondering if King One Eye would enjoy a visit to the cold north.
One Eye.
But probably not. He's not much of a cold weather beast. Would Sarah Lee like to join us, do you think, Azara?
Azara will turn to Mistress Crownsilver. Is there
To Mom.
Yeah. Is there an research possibly that you'll be needing? Because we have a delightful sage blessed by Timora herself that we could bring along if that seems necessary.
I don't think that there will be any immediate research necessary, no. If you think that this person might enjoy a day out in Icewind Dale, it is quite picturesque, a little chilly, but there is a picturesque element to it. Or the only other one is Icewind Dale is very close to places like Luskan. There are some unsavory sorts there. If you can think of anybody with a good sword arm, perhaps you may wish to bring them along as well. Bit of extra security for yourselves.
Well, if there's anyone who needs education outside of Eveningstar, it might be Aaron.
And if there's need for extra sword, we should bring Alyssa. She kind of like pointedly looks at Marcel to go fetch her.
Yes, Marcel, Aaron and Alyssa will accompany us, right?
How would I know that?
Well, they're both within your purview as Master of Arms.
I will go and fetch them.
Them. Yeah, it doesn't take you very long. Alyssa is in the barracks as always. She's a little perturbed that you've come to collect her, but when you kind of say, what do you say, in fact, actually? Yeah, like, how do you explain this to Alyssa?
I've been told that I need to bring you somewhere.
The half-orc blade captain, this knightly woman with her little tusks and black hair, kind of looks at you strangely. All right, shall I go to the keep?
Yes.
Very well. Are you going to give me any more information?
I wasn't really listening.
Ah, yes, that makes more sense. I will go to the keep, Minister. Very well. And she begins packing up her things and makes off. You find Aaron probably sat on the keep's walls, basically throwing stones into the river or trying to throw them as far as he can into the river. He looks incredibly bored. And when he sees you coming, he quickly snaps up and he's like, "Oh, Minister Marcel, it's good to see you. Have you got a job or anything for me to do?"
Yeah, I just like walk up abruptly to Aaron. I'm just like, Aaron, pack your shit.
Yes.
Time to go.
Oh, yeah, I don't need any shit. I've got everything I need. I'm good. And he's just like, oh, and he just starts following you. And yeah, you guys...
Marcel's kind of getting into the idea of Aaron just kind of does whatever he wants.
Yeah, basically, if you tell this kid to do something, it looks like he will 100% do it just because he thinks that you're the coolest guy ever. But yeah, he just basically immediately falls into step behind you. He does have like a little kind of knapsack, which it seems that he's got like a cloak and some, food and things like that in it. Somebody's set for the day of being out and about. He's got like a little knife on his belt. But yeah, he comes along. when you return with everybody back to the keep, you can see Vanathia has basically pulled out of her bag a very delicate golden circlet studded with 3 gemstones, and she places it on her head. Ah, excellent. You've brought your guests. Well, we don't have much time. I'd like to get there before the afternoon begins. So if everyone could stand in a circle around me, that would be fantastic. I'll be able to bring you back to Eveningstar once our business is finished. So I've borrowed a little trinket from some friends of mine.
Business, Mom, you're not trying to get us to do some of your political bidding, are you? This is a real trip, isn't it?
This is a real trip, Agni, I promise. This is, I have some business, but it is not political in nature. This is an old friend of mine from my wilder days.
All right, because we're not doing any of that political intrigue stuff.
No, I promise. None of that, I promise. This will be a lovely day out. A lovely day out for you and your companions to see the world. Agni, you've not even left Cormyr. We've not taken you anywhere besides out of the kingdom. It's good for you to experience other places. You're always talking about these people. You need to learn more. You need to understand more. Sorry, I know I'm embarrassing. And she kind of like holds her hands up. Now, if everyone can hold hands, if we can join hands, she offers her hands to Tarkhal and Agnis, and then the circle kind of continues. And Alyssa kind of is like, I still don't understand. Where are we going? What? Why? Aaron's just like, I don't care. Marcel said we got to do it. You see Vanathia kind of glances at the boy for a second and then just sort of shakes her head. She's like, now, it may be a bit bracing when we arrive, so take a deeper breath now. She kind of sucks in a breath, closes her eyes, and then all of you feel a sudden rush as the world seems to fall from beneath your feet. The world seems to extend. You feel your body stretching beyond infinity, beyond your own mortal constraints, like your very soul is being stretched across the world divide itself. And then in an instant, freezing cold winds blast your body. You feel yourself land in a place as if you've just fallen from a great height, and a very dim, overcast, almost nighttime environment begins to kind of form around you. You can see that you have arrived just on the outskirts, just before a large gate of a walled town. Around you, it is thick snow and ice. The cold bites through to your bones. Your skin begins to prickle and goosebump as these howling winds blast around you. But it's very dark, very overcast. But you can hear and see dozens of people, a whole full town of people making their way into this walled city as you arrive in Icewind Dale. Immediately, Vanathia opens up the pack and she begins handing out thick furred cloaks to the 4 of you. She only has one spare one that she looks between Aaron and Alyssa for. Alyssa is like wearing her armor, and you can see she's cold, but she's kind of gritting her teeth, her little tusks poking out, and she's just kind of not making a big deal of it. Aaron is shivering visibly, but is desperately trying to look like he doesn't bother him. So he's got like his hands on his hips, and he's kind of like, it's a bit different, isn't it? I think I'm gonna be sick. And he kind of like seems a bit woozy from the teleportation, but otherwise is doing his best. And Vanathia offers him the cloak with a sorry look towards Alyssa.
I'll summon my fire spirit and have it sit on Alyssa's shoulder.
Okay.
To offer her just a little bit of warmth.
Yeah,
if she likes
as it kind of touches the armor, you can see like the dull kind of glowing red of the armor begin to heat up, and like Alyssa does kind of like, kind of lets out a breath. Thank you, Baroness. That's actually a big help. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Vanathia, mother, kind of opens her hands and points towards this walled town. It's near city size, but it is still a town. You can see it's not quite reached the same scale as something like Arabelle or Suzail in Cormyr, but it is still a very large town, far bigger than Eveningstar with full walls. And she gestures and says, "Welcome to Brynshire, my children and guests. This is the largest settlement in 10 towns. These are the main settlements here in Icewind Dale. It's dark. the teleportation go wrong somehow? It seems darker than I expected it to be. Perhaps it's just a overcast day. And she kind of turns to the group of you. If you have any questions about where we are, let me know.
Does it snow in Cormyr?
Very, very rarely. I think, as a child, there are occasionally winters where you get snow, especially in the mountains. And so sometimes the nobles will, organize a hunt to go up into the mountains, and the children will do sledding and sort of things like that. But down in sort of the coast near Suzale, where you spent most of your time, rarely did you get any actual thick snow or anything like this. So this is a winter wonderland. This is frozen level, thick snow dunes. You can see, the roads themselves have become slick with ice. Everybody here is bundled up in thick furs, leathers. This is a very, very different climate. And it is freezing cold. It is absolutely icy as anything.
Agnes will kind of wonderingly pick up some snow and kind of play with it and make a snowball. Mm-hmm. And as soon as Marcel's back is turned, she's gonna lob it towards his back and then
So yeah, Marcel, you get a big sort of wet.
He immediately takes out his sword.
Just looking around for where this attack has come from.
We may be under ambush. I'm not sure of the fighting methods in this area.
Agni, please. You have nothing to fear, Minister Marcel. It is just my daughter being rather immature.
Oh, I dropped some snow. Sorry.
Now, I shouldn't let you know, the circlet that I'm wearing, it will allow, I can make a trip back to Eveningstar, but it will need some time to replenish its energies. So, explore the town. I think that there's some sort of festival going on by the looks of things. Explore the town. I am here to meet with the Speaker of Brynshire. Her name's Duvessa. If you do desperately need me, I should be at the council chambers speaking with her. She's an old friend of mine. Until then, perhaps shall we meet again near sundown? We should enjoy a meal together, perhaps. We should meet in the market square, shall we say. Until then, go explore, enjoy. Try not to get into too much trouble. I entrust those of you who are perhaps a little bit more mature to ensure that my daughter does not misbehave herself. And she's definitely looking at Azara and Elissa and Marcel, and maybe a little bit at Tarkhal as well, a little bit. But take your time, enjoy exploring.
It will be good to learn about the cultures of this place. Let's find this festival.
Yes, Agni, let's find it.
Agnes.
I'm sorry, I've heard it so much, it slipped into my tongue.
I'm confused. Is it Agni or Agnes, Your Grace?
Agnes. My mother mispronounces it Agni.
Ah, I see. I understand. Well, I'm not quite sure why you've brought me, but I'm happy to explore. I must admit, I'm a little thrown off. Where are we? Aaron is just am I going to be home in time for tea? My mum gets really mad if I'm not home in time for dinner. Is that going to be all right?
Yeah, we'll be meeting mom back at sundown. So you'll be home. Is tea for you? When is tea, Aaron?
I mean, honestly, it depends on how hungry mum is, but I'm sure that's fine. I'm sure it'll be all right.
You're serving the nobles. Your mother won't mind.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I'm here. I can tell her that I'm on official Minister Marcel's business. Yeah, because you asked me to come, so I'm here on official minister business. Yeah. Okay. So what are we doing?
During this entire conversation, Azara would probably still be shivering as she was not dressed for the winter time.
Nope. You now have a warm cloak, but the rest of your outfit is
very
nothing.
Much not there. So while shivering, she'll probably be like, before we go to this festival, could we possibly stop by a shop to pick up and she just cannot even speak because she is so cold.
I thought you might want to go shopping. Let's go.
Wonderful. And she kind of like speeds off in the direction of like where she thinks the shops might be, like
Sure,
shuffling through the snow.
Yeah, Alyssa very quickly tries to catch up, and you can see that there's almost like a look of like abject horror as she realizes how cold you are, and she desperately like chases after you and is trying to like clear the snow out from in front of you with her armored boots. Like she's trying to make it easier for you to walk, and is kind of offering an arm to help walk you along. Aaron is kind of just looking around, mystified, but he'll probably stick close to Marcel as you go. And yeah, you guys make your way into Brynshire, which is, yeah, like I said, they're narrow streets. You can see it's much more heavily built up than Eveningstar. There are like there's lots of different, stone buildings here with proper thick wooden insulated roofs. And there's a lot of people. There must be sort of, 300, 400 people just in the actual main town itself. And yeah, there is a festival going on. As you begin to make your way down the streets, you can see that there are banners of blue and gray and white, each featuring a 6-pointed snowflake hanging from windows, hanging from street signs, decorating the whole place. Little stalls have been set up here and there. There are iron braziers with coals that are giving off heat to give people some kind of temporary reprieve from this icy weather as you make your way. It doesn't take you long to find a small general store, clothing store, and when they see Azara, the very kindly, ruddy, rosy-cheeked dwarven woman kind of approaches, like, "Oh, my dear, you're going to freeze to death if you stay like that. Hey, come on, let's get you some warm clothes, eh?" And she begins sort of pulling out all sorts of different racks of, furry tunics and thick leggings and boots, and laying them all out for Azara to choose from as you...
I think Azara would go for the cutest stuff there, as I assume she would try and put together an outfit that kind of looks like a Russian Bond villain in the wintertime, kind of like the form-fitting leggings, but like with the really puffy boots and like a cloak with a really cute fur hood.
Of course, absolutely. Anybody else that wants the same thing, like if you want to kind of pick up some like warmer shirts and boots, they all sell this here. And I'm not going to make you pay for the money because you guys have plenty in your treasury. Alyssa and Aaron probably buys himself a little kind of shirt, like a warmer shirt with his meager little monies that he's counting out. He's just like 4 coppers, puts his shirt on and gets dressed very quickly. The dwarven woman is just like, "Oh, you don't look like you're from 10 towns. Are you visiting here?"
Yes, we're visiting from Eveningstar. Do you know it?
I can't say that I do, my dear. I've rarely ventured beyond the mountains, beyond the spine of the world. Whereabouts is that? Is that on the Sword Coast, or?
It's in Cormyr, in fact.
Oh, Cormyr. I've heard of Cormyr. Oh, you must be... Oh, yes, I can see now. You've got a knight and a wizard and the warriors and all the like. Oh, very, very well. Welcome. Well, I'm sorry that you have to suffer through the cold. It's been quite bad recently. It's not normally this icy. You're just staying the day then, just for the day?
Yes, we're here to explore and learn. What should we see?
Oh, well, I would recommend, there is the festival going on at the moment. There's lots of games and things to see and do, lots of art. It's all, it's a celebration of beauty in the winter. So yes, but it gets very cold by nightfall. You should definitely make sure you're on your way before it gets dark. It gets much, much colder at night here. Yes. Yes.
Well,
but hopefully these clothes will keep you nice and warm. And I've put your previous clothes into a nice little bag here, my lady. And she offers Azara like a little kind of reindeer bag, like a kind of reindeer skin bag with all your clothes in it, for you to take those with you as well.
Azara's clothes are like actually this big.
Right.
Like, you fold them up.
Yeah, it's like a tiny bag.
It's like a square of fabric at the end of the day.
But yeah, and then you guys are now fully equipped to begin exploring this town and the things about it. Moving around, it quickly becomes apparent that there is a lot to do. There's this festival is pretty bustling. You can see down one street, a ice skating rink has been set up in sort of what looks to be like a little market square. It's been fenced off, and you can see couples kind of linked in arms, skating around with these kind of little tied-on skates as a small band is playing. A couple of bards have gotten together and are playing delicate music, and people are skating around together. Children are kind of slipping around on the ice, trying to kind of chase each other and pull each other down as that goes along. You can see down towards the main sort of square, there appears to be some sort of large ice sculpture being made, and people are kind of making their own ice sculptures and designing them. Maybe like a competition is taking place. You can hear all sorts of barkers selling various items and things like that. And down the main street, there are people doing live sketches and portraits in charcoals. People are sitting down and having their portraits taken. There's also the other thing that you mainly notice is there's a lot of shrines. They look religious, though you don't recognize any of the kind of religious symbols on them. You see this six-pointed snowflake kind of scattered everywhere as you go. But these shrines are full of people seem to be offering food, paintings, pieces of jewelry, anything of art quality or food seems to be being placed on offer. And you can see people in very, very deep, serious prayer as they offer them. You watch as a young family, kind of trembling from the cold, lays down a basket full of bread and fruits, and then they get down on their knees and kind of shivering, they offer up a very solemn prayer, but not quite able to hear what they're saying. But yeah, what takes your fancy? What are you guys interested in checking out?
I want to ask, like, maybe when this family is done at a respectable distance, when they leave, I will take them aside and say, "My apologies, I'm from far away. To whom are these shrines?"
When you approach them, they see you kind of coming, Agnis, and there is a moment of panic as you begin walking over to them. The man kind of steps forward. He's an elderly-looking human man. He kind of says, my deepest apologies, my lady. We are offering it to the Frost Maiden to ensure that the winter is short and that summer comes truly to 10 towns. I'm sorry, we have to go. And he immediately begins pulling his family away.
Does Agnis, I mean, I assume that she's kind of used to, like, being a noble. People are weird around her. So does this strike her as particularly weird that they don't want to talk to her, or is this like par for the course?
Do you want to make an insight check?
Yeah.
You can make an insight check for me. Sure, go for
Let's do that. Ooh. 23.
23. There was definitely, this wasn't just the kind of typical, it's, you kind of pick up on the fact that actually these guys wouldn't know that you're a noble. They wouldn't know that you're of any importance. And yeah, you get a sense that they were afraid of something. That's the kind of vibe, the way that they weren't just shivering from the cold. They were afraid of something. Like when they were making this offering, it wasn't a respectful offering. This was a fearful offering.
Like under duress kind of thing.
Yeah. That's the kind of vibe you picked up.
Particularly perturbed by that interaction, and I want to use the sword to detect magic and see if any kind of aura appears around these shrines.
Okay, so yeah, you close your eyes for a minute, Marcel, and you hear the sword. Yes, of course I can. I'm not. This is strange, brother. I can tell that the shrines don't have any magic, but there is some immense magic at work. This weather, it's worse than it should be. The magic is making it colder here. And there's no sun. There's no sunlight. Something is preventing the sun from fully rising here. I can't explain it. This is powerful magic. Powerful magic.
I'll convey this to everybody.
Yeah.
If the people of this town are under duress by evil magic, then we must do everything we can to help and save them.
Hot drinks, hot chocolate, hot food. Come to the tavern if you want to get your free hot drinks. And Barker kind of makes his way down, and you can see a bunch of families begin skipping hurriedly towards the tavern.
Sir DM, does this town look like it has a library of some sort, or like?
It's definitely big enough that there would definitely be a library here. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Hearing what Marcel would say, then that I would turn to the group and say, seeing as magic is one of my specialties here, if this is some sort of dark magic, as actually, Your Grace, your mother mentioned, she might need my help for some sort of query or questions. Maybe this is what she was referring to. Maybe we should pull the town, go to a library, see if there's something we can find out about what has plagued this town. When did it start? If we could be of any assistance.
Absolutely. Anytime people are under a malevolent force, it's our duty to try to free them.
Also, it would be very good for Crownsilver, for the Crownsilver name and for Eveningstar's reputation if we aided a foreign town. Think about that. And Azara kind of like smiles to herself, thinking about how this could just help Eveningstar.
Help everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Alyssa will say, well, the Magister shouldn't go on her own. I'll accompany her to the library just to, in case this is a large town. We don't know what sort of pickpockets or thugs might be around the corner. So I'll accompany her. If the rest of you wish to explore other parts of the town.
Well, I think that one of the best ways to get to know the people is to sample local cuisine and hang out in local gathering places. So if the tavern is offering free hot chocolate, then certainly it is our responsibility to partake.
Yeah. Aaron leans in. He's like, yeah. Baroness has got a great idea. We should go and eat stuff and drink stuff, especially if it's free.
Is there
So
the
Azara, you'll
equivalent
meet
of
us.
like...
Oh, go ahead.
Is there the equivalent of like one of those caramel festival waffle type things?
Oh,
Maybe.
Yeah, seems like
You guys have
that's
been to
what
Christmas
Agnis has in
markets,
mind.
right?
Yeah.
Imagine a giant Christmas market,
Yeah,
and that's what this
I'm
place
imagining.
is.
I was
Yeah.
imagining the Philly Christmas market.
It's very that. What was you saying? Sorry, Shady?
Tarkhal was just saying to Azara, so you'll meet us at the pub when you're done in the library then?
Yes, and please save a cider for me.
Will do.
Alyssa will kind of offer an arm to Azara and begin heading off in the direction of assuming you can find some sort of library, while the rest of you head towards the tavern. We'll quickly do tavern stuff first. As they make your way there. The tavern that you begin heading towards, the one that the barker was gesturing towards, is called the North Look. And you can see that it is exceptionally busy. A lot of the windows have been opened, tables and bars have been set outside, and people are enjoying steaming hot, like ceramic mugs full of hot drinks. The smell of mulled hot cider, of hot chocolates, kind of wafts through the air, along with spiced potatoes, dripping in cheese, sweet, savory little flat cakes also seem to be on offer. And you also hear like a lot of loud cheering, like some sort of game is being played inside. As you are also making your way on the opposite side of the street from the tavern, you see a very odd sight. A small rock gnome, gray-skinned, with curly white hair, wearing an outfit that makes him look like a teddy bear, like a kind of snow white fluffy suit, has a small stand with more of these suits on hangers, and he is calling out as you kind of make your way towards him. He calls out, insulation survival suits for sale, the warmest clothing one can have in the 10 towns, only 10 copper pieces a suit. Buy a suit now, please.
Aaron, would you like one of those suits so that you will no longer shiver? And
No, I
also
look stupid in one of those
you'll
suits. I'm
look
not wearing
great.
one of those.
You'll look fantastic in one of those suits.
No, I won't. You're lying. You're playing a trick on me.
Why would I play a trick on you, Aaron?
He looks very
Yeah, the
confused.
suit. It's for your survival.
Okay. I don't. Can I have the money for the suit?
Yes, absolutely. Agnis gives him
Okay.
10 copper.
He takes the money and he kind of walks over to this gnome. He looks back towards all of you like, am I really buying this?
Survival,
Like-
Aaron.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Gnome. I will have a suit, please. And the gnome looks up and he's like, My dear boy, you've made a wonderful decision. A wonderful decision. Now, let me get a look of you. Yes, about this size human. What are you, 17, 16? 17. Right, 17. Yes, very good. And he finds one. He's like, yes, this one should fit you. You can see that this one, rather than having like teddy bear ears, it has long ears like a rabbit down the back. And it's like a onesie. It's literally like a fluffy onesie. And Aaron like slowly puts like his legs into it, slowly puts his arms in, looks sad as he begins like fastening it up the front, and then he basically makes his way over to the rest of you. I look really stupid.
I don't think so. I think you look fantastic.
Baron Tarkhal, I look stupid, don't I?
You look warm. Like you'll survive.
It is very warm. It's, you know, the cloaks that your mum gave us were nice, but this, it's like I'm at home. Honestly, it's so nice and toasty. I just wish I didn't look so stupid.
We're not going to see these people ever again. It's fine.
Oh, that's a good point.
You don't have to worry about what these strangers think of you.
Yeah. I don't have to care. I don't care what they think. Yeah. I'm doing
Aaron,
this.
would it make you feel better if I wore one too?
Yes.
All right. Agnes feels bad, so she goes over and buys one for herself too.
Yay!
But she wants to, if there's like a reindeer one that has like antler kind of things or something.
Sure, yeah. Of course there is.
Like that.
100%.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the gnome is just, he's amazed. 2 sales in quick succession. He is over the moon. He's like, yes, oh, well, my good lady, yes, Copper Nobanoka is most pleased to sell you a suit, an insulation survival suit. Yes, absolutely. Here, this one should fit you. I can make adjustments if you require them. Yes, please, put it on.
Thank you, kind artisan.
Oh, you are most welcome. They'll regret the day that they said that Copper Nobanoka is insane. My suits will be the talk of the town, I reckon.
I am quite warm.
Yes, they're made from owlbear downing, polar bear fur, and sealskin. Very, very insulated, very, very warm.
Agnes is bothered by the fact that she didn't know these were made by animal products.
Yeah.
But she doesn't want to upset this artisan, so she tries to hide her grimace.
Wonderful. Fabulous, my dear. Fabulous.
She goes over and stands next to Aaron.
Aaron high fives you.
With like, I assume there's like gloves on it, so it's like...
Yeah, there's gloves. Yeah, and it's just like a flat sort of like fuzzy glove hitting glove. Inside the tavern, if you do make your way inside, there are bustling with people. There is hot drinks on offer as well as hot food. The main thing of note that you can see most of the crowd are gathered around is on the far wall, there appears to be a large pink fish mounted to a wooden board with a large, big, flat, round head. And people are playing a game where they try and reach into the thing's mouth and pull something out, but as they get close, the fish magically comes to life and tries to bite them and then goes back to its position. And they're trying to snatch this shining object from out of the mouth as they do it, and it's all kind of bustling around. What do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to just talk to people? What are you asking them about?
I want to go learn the game.
Yeah, Tarkhal definitely wants to learn the game too.
I want to point it out to Tarkhal mostly and be like, oh, this is another game. Perhaps we could incorporate it in our tournaments in Eveningstar.
Yeah, let's see if it's any, I don't know if it'll hold any water to Stoling, but it looks like some good fun.
Yeah, the Marcel.
I'm gonna look for any particular unique patrons of interest, like someone who might look a little, I don't know, stand outish and not just another
outish.
Yeah, ongoer.
Sure. Absolutely. I'll come back to you in a minute, Marcel.
Sure.
For the 2 of you who are checking out the game, Aaron comes with you as well. You very quickly learn that the game is called Brave and Bitey, that the fish is called Old Bitey, and the game is you snatch the coin. It's a platinum coin. You snatch the platinum coin out of its mouth, and that's the game. And if you don't snatch it out of its mouth, it bites you.
Have any of you ever been bitten before?
Yeah, one guy holds up his hand and he's missing 2 fingers. He's like, aye.
Oh my god. Are you giving it a try, Agnes?
No.
I have to try now. It's a game. I have to.
And there's like a cheer and they begin banging their mugs like, come on, sir, come on, Mr. Lord. And they're kind of like, bitey. It's really simple if you want to play. So it's there's no bet. It's literally just try and snatch the coin out of the mouth. When you get within 5 feet of this thing, it will try and bite you. you can make a dexterity check. It's not a saving throw, just a d20 plus your dex modifier to try and grab the coin. And if you fail by a cert like 5 or more, then you get bit.
Okay. All right. And it's just my modifier, so just my +4.
D20 plus your dex, yeah. D20 plus 4.
18 + 4, 22.
Like immediately you just stroll up, this thing turns its head, you know, like the singing bass, it just turns its head like that. It does the same thing and tries to bite, and nobody sees you move. Like they just see like a flash of cloak, and then Tarkhal is holding the platinum coin in his fingers. It's just snatches it out. Aaron is just like, whoa, in his bunny suit, that he is just cheering, and everyone
Agnis is clapping with her glove.
like the whole tavern goes quiet, and then everyone's just like, oh, whoa, and they begin sort of like chanting and banging their drinks, and people start, you know, putting mulled wine into your hands, and yeah, people are just like slapping you on the back like, you're gonna buy a round of drinks now, buy a round of drinks, buy a round of drinks. Like,
Can I use this coin to buy a round of drinks? Is that drinks for everyone, I guess, and I'll flip the coin over to the bar. Convincingly causing a big enough distraction that Marcel, you notice that hanging at the back, kind of keeping away from everybody else, there is a figure. You can see kind of a pair of yellow reptilian eyes watching this whole scene. A long coat, kind of almost trailing down to the floor, and a big sort of wide-brimmed hat, and they're just watching everything, and it kind of shuffles around at this distracting scene.
Are they like seated or standing around?
They are stood in the corner. Yeah, no, they're seated. No, they'd be seated in a small booth. And kind of now that you look at them seating down, it's like they're triple jointed. So the way they're sitting is like they're kind of leaning forward, then their back is normal, and then their legs are at a really weird angle. As you look at them, it's very disconcerting. Like their body doesn't bend in the right way.
I'll if there's room, I'll take a seat at the booth.
When you start approaching, this sleeve of the coat kind of like flaps up, and you just hear this voice like, "This seat is taken."
Doesn't even really phase him, just still kind of like sits down with
No, seat is taken. No sit. No. What do we do? I don't know.
He just Marcel kind of sits with a stein of whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, you don't seem to be taking too much interest in the goings on here."
No interest in silly games. No interest in silly games.
Can I do some kind of insight to see?
You don't need to.
Okay.
You don't need to, Marcel. This is absolutely... There are 3 creatures in this coat. You can't really see their face, but there is absolutely 3 individual things inside this coat and hat.
Great.
Just asked, is there an entry discount per head that you're trying to take advantage of?
Discount? And no. I am just enjoying warm. Yes, warm. Good. No, speak. Go away. Seat taken. Seat taken.
Yes, it's taken by me now.
No. Belongs. No. We shouldn't say. Don't discuss. No, be quiet.
And it kind of like shuffles around.
Do the 3 of you know of anything of this unnatural winter?
Know many things, but not of cold. Winter, bad. Not mage. Definitely not mage. Not understand. Magic confusing. Seat taken. Why no go? Play bitey game.
As mage's magic can be confusing, isn't it?
Yes.
So, I'll ask you again. What are the 3 of you hiding from?
Knows that there is 3 of us. Should we inform Harpel? No, be quiet. Must not give name.
It's like, yes. We shouldn't inform Harpel about this, should we? And I'll get up, and like if I don't know if there's a good way to grab, but the way I would like grab someone just by like the back of their collar and try and drag them from their coat outside.
Okay, so you grab the coat. The coat becomes loose in your hands as 3 red-skinned kobolds fall out the bottom and run out the back door of the tavern. They're just like, ah! And then as they just make a run for it as quickly as they can.
Oh god.
I'll follow them and wait until like we're like outside and it's not too crowded.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll witch bolt one of them to basically like hook shot them to me.
Oh no. Yeah, sure. Give me, what do I have to do for witch bolt? Oh my God.
So that is, it's a roll. I want to, if I can, hold back on the actual damage and just try and like constrain it with this energy.
Sure.
So that is a 16.
Oh yeah, you had to beat like a 12 on these guys, yeah. So, okay, don't worry about rolling the damage then. You basically knock one unconscious with this blast of lightning. There is, the sound of the tavern kind of drains some of it out, but some people kind of immediately scurry away from these back streets, but one of the kobolds just falls flat. And you can see it was the one that was on the bottom of the coat. And looking at it now, it's not even it's actually an undead kobold. You can see that part of its body has been eaten away by acid. Part of it's now this kind of like undead zombie creature. The other 2, however, are living kobolds, and they immediately turn and just throw their hands up. These little reptilian, like little dragon snouts. They're like, no kill, no harm, no do bad. Just listen, just listening.
With the one restrained, I'll just tell him, you will answer our questions.
Yes. Questions, answer.
I'm gonna like see if I can poke my head back into the tavern and like see who of my party I can like discreetly get the attention of.
You can get the attention of Aaron. Aaron's like, me?
He looks to Aaron's like, no, someone else. No, get Tarkhal.
Oh, okay. And then he goes and he like tugs on Tarkhal and Agnis and Steve. He's like, Minister Marcel, he's at the back door or something.
All right. Agnis.
Tell me to get you.
Yeah, I'll go with him.
Yeah, you guys make your way out. The patrons are enjoying their free booze that Tarkhal has bought for them with the platinum coin. And so, yeah, you guys make your way out. And yeah, you see Marcel pointing his sword at 2 living kobolds and an unconscious dead kobold, undead kobold. They've got their arms up. They don't have any weapons on them. They don't have anything, any weapons or armor. They just got their little red scaly hands in the air, looking terrified.
What happened out here?
These 3 were in disguise scouting out the place and mentioned something of a powerful mage that may be responsible for this winter. I had reason enough to constrain.
No response. Mage not care. Mage not cause winter. Oriole cause winter.
Who is Oriole?
Oriole, goddess, bad, big bad. No leave.
A deity has caused this winter. Well, that makes things more difficult.
We know do harm. We just listen. Listen for mage.
And why is it this mage wanted to listen?
Learn of things that human folk speak of. Treasures, books.
Marcel, they don't seem to be doing any harm.
No harm. Just listen.
Well, regardless, it seems intrusive on the privacy of these citizens.
Good point.
They don't understand any of those words.
Perhaps we should speak to this mage who sent them here.
Venya not here. She not here anymore. She come by every few days. Ask what we listen. She go far in snow. No, not here.
Venya, you said?
How do they pronounce it? Because these are kobolds. I have to.
Velen.
They call her Velen. Sorry, I got the name wrong.
Velen
not here. She go. She take other kobolds with her. Leave us here. Listen. Use dead one for legs. Me and brother, brains and arms.
How did he become a dead one?
Velen kill him, and then bring him back to life.
Why?
We attack Velen thinking she just human with food. But she mage. She use magic. But then she give us job. So we say yes.
This all sounds reasonable to me. Agnes looks at Marcel.
Very reason. Let kobolds go.
Can I insight this? See if they're
Sure.
okay.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's not great.
3 kobolds in a trench coat.
4.
I couldn't not.
I know.
That's a 4.
A 4? I mean, they're stupid kobolds. You know, you've all heard of kobolds. You know what they're like. They're cowardly. They're pretty dumb. You don't have any reason to suspect they're hiding anything that they've not said.
Sword's still out, but I'll look to Agnes just for like thoughts. Any reason to keep them further?
I don't see any.
All right, I'll put the sword away, and I'll just tell him, apologies for the inconvenience. Your dead friend will be fine.
See that you don't steal any food from anyone anymore.
Okay. And then they just sort of like lean down, grab the dead one's arms, and begin slowly dragging him through the snow away. But their eyes never leave. Like they're like terrifiedly just staring at you lot until they get to a corner. And then they whip it round the corner, and you can just hear little tiny scaled legs like tick, 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 running through the snow.
Is Azara's at the library, right?
So yeah, so I was going to do a meanwhile. So Alyssa and Azara make your way across Brynshire. You don't know exactly where the library is, but asking a few folks around Azara, people point out that there is no formal library, but the Shrine of Omentor has a library here. That the shrine is probably the best place to go for any sort of books or that sort of thing. It's where a lot of the school children go to learn and things like that. So they point you in that direction. You pass by the ice skating rink, and yeah, just continue your way. You can see a few folks are just kind of, in a way, if you didn't know what Marcel had told you and what Agnis had realized about the shrines, this does seem like a pretty genuine festival. Like people are laughing and smiling and sort of just seem to be enjoying themselves. But making your way across the town with Alyssa, you soon come across a very large converted manor house, but the golden sun of Amontor, the Morning Lord, is emblazoned on the front of the door. And you can see that there doesn't appear to be any guards around. The doors are closed, but doesn't seem to be locked up or anything like that.
I will attempt to open the door, I suppose. Just walk right in.
It opens. There is a little bell. Alyssa kind of follows you. She keeps a firm grip on her greatsword as she's making her way through with you. But you see that the shrine is empty. You can see that there are several rooms, one of which appears to be a library with tall bookshelves and a small writing desk. But the shrine itself is empty except for a lone woman who is wearing like priestly robes and just seems to be kind of praying at the altar. And when you come in, she kind of looks up in a startle. Can I help you?
Yes. Sorry to interrupt your prayer. We are travelers from Cormyr, just here to learn more about your wonderful city, your town here, and we heard there was a library in the shrine, if you don't mind us perusing your wares.
Cormyr? Yes, of course, but you should not stay here. It is not safe. Well, it's safe for you, but this is not a good place to visit right now, my dear. You should leave Icewind Dale while you can. This weather is not natural. The people of the town are trying their best to get by, but I'm afraid that a great evil is at work here.
What do you mean safe for me? What?
It is difficult to explain and rather tragic, but there is the land is suffering at the hands of a goddess, or Oriole, the Frost Maiden. We have not had summer or autumn or spring in nearly a year now. It's just been nothing but winter, and it gets worse and worse. The weather is getting colder, the wind is blowing fiercer. I'm afraid that not even my Lord Amontor seems to have the power to put an end to it. I have prayed daily to for this madness to all end, but it has not come.
And is there no way to defeat this Frost Maiden or bargain or?
And I see that you are not familiar with the deities of this land. No. Oriole is without compassion. She is uncompromising, like the ice itself. She is merciless. She does not care for our suffering. She only wishes to blanket the world in ice to preserve its beauty for all time. She cares nothing for lives or for anything like that. We have been stuck like this for a while. The speakers have tried to do what they can. They think that perhaps Oriole can be appeased, but I worry what that is doing to our lives. If you still wish to use my library, you are welcome to it. My name is Mishan. I am the priestess of Amantor here. If you wish to use the books to learn more about Oriole, you may, but I'm afraid that there's not much that seems that can be done.
Azara holds out her hand. Azara, Magister of Eveningstar from Cormyr. And you said these speakers, they're meeting to try and appease this Frost Maiden. Is there anything we could do to help?
They met months ago, my dear. Decisions were made. Not easy decisions were made. They've done their best to try and, benefit the people of their towns as best they can, but I'm afraid that that is all that can be done. Duvesser is the speaker for Brynshire, and she is a good woman. I've known her for a long time. Her and the Marshal, they are good people put into very difficult circumstances. This festival was her idea. She thought that perhaps if we threw a festival in Oriole's name, if we praised the things that she loves, beauty, art, if we made things for her, maybe she would relent, give us a moment of sun and warmth. But, I guess we'll need to see if that happens by sundown.
I'm sorry for your suffering. If there's anything that I find or can do to end this winter, I promise you, I and the Baron and Baroness of Eveningstar will do our best.
That is very kind of you, my lady, but we are talking about a goddess. I think that this is just something that the people of Icewind Dale must suffer. There must be a way, but I don't expect any traveler to be able to fix it. You should go and enjoy the festivities with your friend here as much as you can, but perhaps it's best if you leave before nightfall.
Azara puts a comforting hand on her shoulder and she says, "A war wizard never strays from danger. I will not let harm come to your people."
Thank you, my dear. May the blessing of the Morning Lord go with you and offer whatever warmth and light that he can. I am going to continue my prayers here. Thank you. And she just nods her head.
Azara will kind of nod and stay quiet and go to the library to see if she can quickly gather as much as she can about Oriole and Frost Maidens and goddesses and such.
Yeah,
we should have brought Sarah Lee.
It's the old switcheroo. Yeah, it doesn't take too much time before you find Oriole is referenced in plenty of literature here in Icewind Dale. The people here for generations have always both been afraid of Oriole, but also deeply respected her for what she represents. Oriole, the Frost Maiden, she's a lesser god. She's not a greater deity, but she is a lesser god, and she embodies winter's cruelty. Her icy grasp is all about preserving things against the ravages of time, but without any compassion or feeling, just the thought of preserving things for the sake of captivating beauty, not for any good purpose or anything like that. She has all of the cruelness and maliciousness of winter. She doesn't care if people starve. She doesn't care if people die. Those are just the natural way of things. It's just, for her, it's all about preserving the world as it is in ice is her main thing.
I'm assuming there's nothing about not so much weaknesses, but like if she holds anything dear that if it happened to be murdered, she would be upset and relent, anything like that.
Make an Arcana check for me.
Oh, I'm good at those. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 23.
23. So you spend maybe sort of an hour going through some of these books and reading up about Oriole. Being a lesser deity, if she is controlling enough magic to keep an internal winter going in Icewind Dale, deities' power isn't infinite, not for the lesser deities. They are, by doing something like this, it's probably weakened her quite significantly in terms of magic. It doesn't mean that she'll be killable. She's still a deity. As long as people believe in Oriole as a goddess, she'll always have divine power. But it might be possible that it might be possible that something could, break this spell. If there was a way to interfere with this ritual, that might be a possibility of how to kind of bring an end to it. But that's just a theory. That's your basis of your knowledge of magic in the natural world. That's just a theory.
Is there anything about where to find and or summon her to confront her?
There's lots of talk about she has like a mysterious island shrouded by mist out in the frozen sea that no mortal can reach. There's also talk of a fortress called Grimscale where she's supposed to live that's protected by frost giants. There's lots of conflicting stories. She has a great bird that she uses to go over the skies and drop snow and ice on the people below, and she lives on this bird. There's all this kind of like fable and legend. And you would know that sometimes the truth is all of those things, or it could be none of those things. It's kind of, people believe what they want to believe, really. I think that there's no concrete answers there.
Gotcha. And we were told that Agnis and Tarkhal's mom was meeting with this speaker, right?
You were, yes.
Okay. Knowing all this, Azara would kind of like gather up all of the notes that she's taken and head back to the tavern with Alyssa so they can suggest that we go speak with the speaker.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and just to speed up time, you guys arrive back. Agnis, Tarkhal, Marcel, you guys meet up with Azara outside this inn, the Northlook. And you guys share that information, I guess. What do you guys want to do now? What's the plan? You've probably got maybe like not too long before sundown, to be honest. The day is very short here, and with all the events of playing the games and the shopping and speaking to the kobolds and the research, you maybe got like an hour or so before sundown.
Lady Crownsilver, I would suggest, as much as I don't want to interrupt your mother, possibly she said she is meeting with the speaker who is the one who knows the most about this Frost Maiden, possibly going to find them and conveying what we found, our research, seeing if maybe we can work together to find a solution here.
I think that sounds like the best idea. Lead the way.
I will guess my best and lead the way, I guess. I'm kind of one of those like very confidently, but like checking a map anytime I can, trying to figure out which way I'm going.
You can ask for directions and things like that.
Ask for directions.
Sure. Yeah, you can find a map and check it on that. Sure. But it doesn't take you long to find the council chambers, which is where she said that she'd be meeting with the speaker. But as you approach it, the outside of the council chambers, there are quite a few armed guards. You can see that they are veteran-looking soldiers. They wear proper armor. They have proper, well-kept gear. They look trained. And one man in particular, dark-skinned fellow with a big, thick kind of Jon Snow cloak with the cross straps and a big sort of, Winterfell-style cloak, blue tunic, bald head kind of stands. He holds up a hand. He's like, "Hold! The council chambers are off limits today, I'm afraid."
We are Lady Crownsilver's children. We're here to bring her an urgent message.
I can pass the message on for you if you need to. I'm assuming Lady Crownsilver. My name is I am Marshal Markham. I am the Marshal of Brynshire.
Is there a reason, Marshal, why you're barring us from speaking to our mother?
The council is having a private meeting with a companion. She asked me to basically make sure that they're not disturbed, which is her right as speaker of the town. I'm not holding you for any nefarious purpose. I'm doing my job, my lady. But I'm happy to pass the message
Azara, because Agnis has recognized that when it comes to like diplomacy, Azara usually knows better what to do, and if this were Eveningstar, Agnis would just like throw her weight around. But since it's a different place, she's trying to be,
Sure.
respectful.
Is this kind of a guy that would like rank would recognize rank?
Yes. The only problem is that you suspect that your Cormyrean titles don't really have a lot of sway here.
But he would know what a war wizard is, right?
I think he would at least understand that means you are a very powerful spellcaster, or at least you are a trained, spellcaster.
Right.
Yeah. Sure.
So I would just kind of step in and curtsy. What was this man's name again?
Markham.
Markham.
He's Marshal. He's the Marshal of the town, basically.
Sir Marshal, Azara Mithras, High Magister of Eveningstar, previous and still War Wizard of the nation. I come to Lady Crownsilver with urgent news about possibly a way to end this winter. We're just trying to work together. We feel, at least I feel in my research, there might be a way to free your town from Oriole and her grasp. And all we want to do is work together with the council to bring summer to this great land. And she kind of curtsies again.
The mentioning of knowing a way that you can end all of this, definitely you see his expression change. You see that kind of the eyebrows go up. He nods his head. I would ask you to wait here for a moment. Let me go and speak with the speaker. Let me speak with the speaker first. But if you do have a method, if you do have a theory that can end our problems, that will be something that she would like to hear. But let me go and speak with her first. I still respect the speaker's privacy. This is an old friend of hers, and I do not wish to interrupt their conversation with barging in. I will also check to make sure that you are Lady Crownsilver's children. And she looks towards Agnis. He nods. A few more guards kind of step in his place, and he turns and goes into the building. He's maybe gone a few minutes, and then he returns. He nods his head. He waves the two guards away. He says, "Come. Devessa will speak with you."
Thank you, Marshal. And I walk in with everyone.
Don't thank me just yet. Let's see if we can solve these problems first. And he kind of ushers you all in. Aaron awkwardly follows, yeah, I'm with them. And in his bunny suit, he just kind of follows them in. Agnis as well looks, kind of ridiculous in this suit. But they are, Azara's words have managed to sway them. When you head inside, this is a kind of mayoral chamber. You can see a large round desk, sat at which is an elderly looking human woman. You can see gray is streaked through her blonde hair. She wears very delicate blue robes with a thick kind of mink scarf. And she is speaking with Vanathia, Agnis and Tarkhal's mother. You can see that the speaker, looks worn down. She looks tired. She's got thick wrinkles and bags under her eyes. She's kind of holding her temple. She looks up and kind of forces a smile. These must be your children, Vanathia, and this war wizard that the Marshal has informed me of. I am sorry for keeping you outside in the cold. Vanathia and I were discussing some old matters. You mentioned that you may have a theory on how to end our problems with the Frost Maiden.
Azara curtsies very deeply. Speaker, this is an honor to be in your presence. Thank you for having us. We totally understand the caution, especially in such dire times.
You may skip the pleasantries, Wolf. I've had more than enough of them.
My apologies. Yes, in my research and just in my experience as a war wizard, this is a lesser goddess. Auro may have great power, but she cannot keep up great power forever. If there is a way to summon her, contact her, confront her, I believe that with enough firepower, her concentration on this spell, on this curse will break, and you will be free. It just takes a way to get to her, however. I don't think that appeasing someone with little to no care for anything other than herself will get you anywhere. I think the direct force is our only course of action here.
I hope you understand what you are asking, War Wizard. And she kind of looks to the rest of you. Of course, I would love for us to be able to simply march an army to defeat Oriole. But we are talking about a goddess. Lesser or greater, it matters not. As long as people believe in the Frost Maiden, she will reform. This is not some singular ritual. Each night she flies, casts some curse that prevents the sun from rising, that causes the winds to blow even colder. I'm afraid, War Wizard, that I do not believe you that this is simply a matter that we can fight her and hope that this is over. I have had many advisors, magical, divine, all who have tried to come up with a solution, but so far the only thing that prevents the nights getting colder and darker is to try and appease her as best as we can. She is vain in some way. I believe that she still desires to be worshipped. This is the only thing that has worked for us so far. And I am afraid that I do not know of a way to summon her or to where she can be found. There are old stories, but there are hundreds of them. We'd have to investigate each one. Venathia, I understand that you and your organization would like to help, but I really don't see how any of them can do anything here. She looks to the others like, I mean, if you have any other things to say or ideas, I am all ears, believe me.
Well, you say she's vain, correct? You say all she wants is for people to love and worship her. Have you ever... you say she flies over every night. That's the perfect opportunity to confront her. What if the second she is confronted, the moment that she realizes that you won't take this, that will break her vanity? Have you ever tried? You don't know. No, Wizard. You are asking soldiers to try to raise their hand against a goddess. I'm not asking your soldiers. I'm asking if you allow us to try.
She turns to Venathia. I will not condone these young folks throwing away their lives. I can't stop you, War Wizard, but I certainly will not condone it. You are speaking of throwing your lives away. I'm sorry.
If there is no way currently to defeat this goddess, is there anything else we could do to make your people more comfortable and more safe?
Your mother turns around. I think that is something that I am going to investigate, Agni. I think that I have some friends of mine, people that I used to spend some time with doing little odd jobs for here and there. We're going to do what we can. But I'm sorry, I wouldn't have brought you here if I had realized that this was the extent of the problems. I thought that this was just two old friends with I thought maybe there was orcs or goblins in the mountains that needed to be dealing with, not this. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have brought you. This is a bit much. I'm sorry, Tarkhal. I was hoping that you would perhaps enjoy a trip outside of Cormyr, not be embroiled in some sort of plot against a goddess.
Oh, don't apologize, Mother. I did have fun at the tavern. I bought everyone rounds by winning a game. Something I heard the speaker say was that there will be people that still believe in this goddess and she will reform. Why do people choose to believe in such an evil deity?
Not the people of 10 towns. Well, perhaps there are the more troublesome members who might do it in secret, but Icewind Dale is full of... it is a large place. The 10 towns are only a small portion of it, my young man. There are all sorts of folks who live out amongst the snow. To them, Oriole gives them strength. Sometimes she blesses individuals with immunity to her cold, to her touch. These people go on to lead tribes or groups of warriors. There are those who see her as a being that can grant them power, as is the case of any evil deity. Why does anyone worship Asmodeus or Cyric or any of the evil gods? It is because they feel that they can obtain power. A sad but tragic truth.
I hadn't thought of that.
No, I wish none of us had to think of it. It is difficult. I must apologize. It is late, and I must conduct the final ceremonies for the festival. Perhaps it better if you and your children head home, Venathia. I'm sorry to have wasted your time and to have brought my misery into your lives. And she kind of gets up and kind of dusts herself off, motions to the marshal. You see the marshal picks up like a box, like a square lacquered box, and they begin heading out of the door and towards the town square.
Azara, do you believe them that there's no hope?
I never believe that there's no hope. I've heard tales and seen my mother take on horrors that you wouldn't imagine and live. I've seen mages stronger than me defeat fae from the deep abysses of terrifying worlds. I've seen gods and goddesses brought to knees by powerful magic. I don't believe that there's nothing we can do, especially if she is running herself this ragged, just trying to bless those that believe in her and cast these horrible winters every night. She can't hold this up for this long. I know there's a way. I can't do it alone.
Well, you say you've seen power greater than yours bring down goddesses. Unless you have those powers on call to come here now, I don't see how that's even relevant to this situation.
For once, I have to agree with you, Marcel. However, it doesn't sit right with me not at least trying.
Surely together we are equivalent to one of those great powers, and maybe there's a few brave souls in the town who would stand with us.
Venathia looks. You can see Venathia is just watching her children at this point. So she's watching Tarkhal and Agnis, and she's not saying anything. After Agnis speaks, her eyes kind of fall on Tarkhal, waiting to hear what he has to say.
I don't know if we should be pushing the town's people so hard. Like, this is not our town. And I do want to help people, but I don't know if we have enough critical information to put them in harm's way, to raise arms against the goddess.
And what should we do? Leave?
And we were only coming here for the day, and honestly, I would look to the Council of Mom. Not often that I actually get to have her around, so I wouldn't mind asking her what she thinks.
You will need to make some of these decisions on your own one day, Tarkhal. I have spent a long time in battles where the odds were against me. Not every fight is fair, and not every enemy is weaker or as strong as you. Sometimes you have to take a gamble, hope that you have good companions at your side, the right smarts, the right tactics. Maybe, just maybe, you can pull a victory from a crushing defeat. I fear that there is something more at work here. I have known Devessa for a long time. She is a proud, a good-hearted, noble woman who would not be so easily dejected just by a bit of cold and ice. Something else is happening here. I would like to see what that is. And if we have to draw blades against a goddess, well, if necessary, I can get us out of here very quickly. And she just taps the circlet on her head.
Well, I'm not trying to back down from a fight. I think we should let's not put these villages in harm's way. If we're taking on a goddess, let's do it in a field or something. I don't know.
It's very commendable. Elissa folds her arms. Well, wherever you go, I shall go. I will not abandon any of you. If you wish to fight, I fight with you. She kind of nods at each of you. Aaron kind of looks awkwardly. He's like, I don't really understand anything that's going on. Are we going home? Are we staying here? What's this about a goddess? Are we fighting someone? Marcel?
We will not be fighting any goddesses.
Okay.
In my opinion, if we come face to face with this power and the slightest bit of confrontation arises, we leave. I agree that this would be throwing our lives away. And I don't understand why you all take it upon yourselves to solve the world's problems. I don't understand why everyone's burdens need to be yours.
Because sometimes, Marcel, when people need help, you help. I'm sure if one day you need help, we'll be there to help you. Not like you need help. I know you're going to say something snarky.
You do hear a voice in your mind, Marcel, which is, we did help Hadley, and Hadley helped us. Maybe it's like that.
Well, the urge to help doesn't mean you're qualified. But so be it.
Well, Mr. Minister Marcel, Venethia kind of stands up and she kind of grips her rapier. Let me tell you that I am qualified. And I agree with you. If there is a slight hint of going against any powerful forces, I will immediately return you all to Eveningstar. I will not risk my children in some heroic suicidal attack. But we're here now. Let's at least find out what's going on. Perhaps this is all, like I said, perhaps this isn't the work of Oriole. Perhaps this is something more mortal at work, hidden behind a goddess's facade.
And something more mortal can fall, on the bright
Indeed.
side.
Well, let's go see what this fuss is all about. And she begins making her way out the door. And you can see that night is beginning to fall now. The sun, well, there's not really sun. It's been this kind of dim, overcast grayness. And it's now turning into dark night as you begin making your way out. And you can hear singing coming from the market square. And it sounds like hundreds of voices all kind of gathered together. You can see candles, kind of lots of hundreds of dozens of little lanterns and candles are all lit in a sort of vigil around the central town square. But when you arrive, as the last bit of gray light diminishes, as you begin making your way to the back of the crowd, you hear this audible wail and groan as the wind begins to pick up and the snow begins to flurry and build and the weather, the temperature begins to drop immediately around you. And you hear Devessa kind of speaking out to the crowd. I am sorry, everyone. I thought that this festival may buy us some time, but it seems that we must draw the lottery. Marshal, please. And the wooden lacquered box he was carrying, she reaches her hand in, pulls out a small scroll. She reads it. Citrine. And you see the crowd beginning to part around a kind of ragged-looking tiefling girl. She looks up. She's like, no, please, I don't want to go. Please, won't someone go in my place? And they just all begin backing away from her. And you can see Devessa just is like crying, like sobbing tears. She's like, I'm so sorry. This is the only way for everyone else to survive. And they begin sort of converging on this girl.
Go where? Where is she being sent? Mother.
Your mother is pushing through the crowd, like ahead of you. Like, yeah, she's just like, come on. And she's pushing her way to the girl.
I follow her.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aaron and Alyssa come as well. You guys basically get to her as several soldiers arrive. And there is this standoff where this girl is in between you. Venethia just grabs the girl and pulls her to her. Devessa, what are you doing? What is this? She must be sacrificed. She must be given to Oriole, or the rest of us will suffer. I'm sorry. You know I would not do this if it was not necessary. Oriole will come. If we do not give her now, please. And you just see your mother just holding this kid and just draws the rapier.
I will go in her stead.
No, you will not, Agni. Nobody is going. Nobody needs to be sacrificed here. This is either some sort of trick or you are giving into evil.
Well, certainly if I go in her stead, then there are plenty of us with swords.
Nobody needs leave. Nobody is going. I am not risking you, my dear. You are my child. Nor will I give up this one.
And they said the goddess will show up if she does not die. So
you do not understand. You cannot possibly stand against the Frost Maiden. Please, we must sacrifice her now. You can hear the wind beginning to howl and gather strength as the snow begins to flurry, hail begins to form. This is our last chance, please.
Is there any kind of like vibes I'm getting off of this magic? Can I like Arcana check to see if this is like indeed goddess magic or it feels like something else?
Yeah, give me an Arcana check. Marcel, you begin to hear in the sword as well.
18.
18. Yeah. Both Azara and Marcel, the weapon. You both get the same kind of vibe. This is pretty strong magic. It isn't, you're not sure if it's god magic. This is very powerful magic though. Maybe something like the control weather spell, but to a magnified degree, right? This is like a leveled up version of it. It's happening so quickly. Normally it takes time for this spell to generate the power to change the weather, but this is happening like at the drop of a hat. One of the guards lunges towards this tiefling girl with a blade, and your Venethia just parries it to the side, boots him in the chest, and sends him sprawling back,
Nice,
and then
Mom.
just backs up. She says, Tarkhal, Agni, get in front of me now. If any more of them come, you keep them away from both of us.
I do that, and assuming an hour has gone by since I summoned my fire spirit, I'll just summon it again and stand in front, like, menacingly.
Yeah, you can see the crowd is like now like gathering around you, and they're like, please, you don't understand. It'll be worse if we don't. We don't want to do it, but we have to, please. And it's like all these voices calling out to you. But then just one big sudden gale blows through. Doors slam open. The snow almost blinds you as it surrounds you, and you just hear this voice over the wind calling out to you. If you will not pay the price, let your short lives be forever frozen in everlasting rime. And the gale now becomes a full blizzard that just burns through the village. The people of Brynshire begin scattering, running to their houses, screaming. The Duvessa, the speaker, just collapses to her knees, holding up her hands to her face. What have I done? What have I done? As she just begins whimpering and weeping. And just behind you down the main street, you see a form beginning to kind of come out of the blizzard. Standing maybe 7 feet tall. You can see a creature like a biped, the face of a big owl and 2 curving horns around its head. Big furred body with talons and a cloak of snow just begins. And it just watches. We're going to roll initiative.
Standing in my reindeer fluff suit.
Right.
Yes, I keep forgetting that.
It just reminds me of like Final Fantasy 14 when you're in cutscenes and everybody's in like bikinis or frog suits.
My initiative is 7.
7 for Agni.
14.
14 for Azara.
Roll a crit with 24.
24.
Damn.
Tarkhal, big
Nice.
boy.
13.
13 for Marcel. And then it's automatically rolled Alyssa for me. So, Tarkhal, you are the first to go. You can see this thing kind of darts forward in the ice. The blizzard around you, if it gets worse, it's going to start obscuring your vision. But for now, you're unaffected by it. But the freezing temperature is dropping rapidly. And you can see this figure just rushing towards you, this monstrous form. You are muted, my friend.
I'm muted. How far away is this deity?
I would say at this point, probably 60 feet.
Okay, cool. That's the range of my Kiss of Silver. So I'm gonna just unsheath my dagger and toss it towards the goddess.
Okay, sure. Give me an attack roll.
17 plus 7, 24.
24 hits, yeah.
Cool.
The dagger kind of flies in. You see it strike against this form's body.
Cool. So 1d4 plus 4, and then all the sneak attack. I get assassination because I went before.
You get sneak attack, but not assassination because it's not surprised. It knows that you are there. But you do get sneak attack because you have advantage technically on the roll.
Yes. So 46 more damage. So I rolled a 2. So the first amount of damage is 6, and then we got 7 total. 10, 13, 17, 46. That's it. So 17 damage.
17 damage, but that includes the initial 6 you did, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I'll just add an extra.
Weak roll.
So the dagger kind of thumps in, and then you summon it back to your hand with a flick of the wrist as the magic pulls it into the kind of silvery mist form. But the creature does not slow down as it darts towards you, kind of rushing forward. Do you want to use any movement or a bonus action?
I think I'm just going to take a bonus action to I'm just going to dash kind of back away. At this
back
thing that's rushing
30
for
feet,
me. Yeah.
30 feet more away. Yeah, the creature dashes forward. Almost you see that the cloak of snow becomes a pair of giant owl wings temporarily, and it flies forward 60 feet. It looks dead in the direction that all of you gathered, sees Vanathia, and just raises a taloned claw. And you watch as Vanathia looks up for a moment, and then her form seems to be sucked into the air, and a tiny icicle shard hangs in place, and you can see the silhouette of somebody banging on it, holding the girl, the tiefling, with her, banging on the shard, as she just seems to be caught up in this icy gemstone. But then the creature does not take any further actions. Alyssa, seeing this, will just basically put herself in front of Azara and take a defensive position. I sure hope she just turns around and says, hit it with everything you can, Magister. I'll do my best to protect you. And it's Azara's turn.
Hearing that, Azara will kind of do a really cool spin of her staff. And you know what? We'll just cast Fireball at the... Wait, how close is she?
She is now 30 feet away from you.
Cool. I have 2 4th level spell slots, so let's just do the 4th level.
Okay. So reflex save, or dex save, I should say, on my part.
Dex of 14.
14. That is a 16. So you see this thing kind of fly up into the air, avoiding some of the blast.
Still
it's gonna take half.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I'm just gonna roll it here because that's a lot of dice.
It's a lot of dice. D&D Beyond will do that.
Half of 30 is 15 points of fire damage.
15 points of damage. The fire, you would hope in a way that the fire would have some sort of additional effect against the creature, but it definitely damages them. You can see that parts of their fur and their talons are singed by the fire. Your flame is nothing to me.
Quick question.
Anything else on your turn? Yeah.
Yeah, if I do Quicken Spell, I can spend 2 sorcery points to cast another spell, correct?
Yes, but you've already cast a spell as an action this turn, and there's limits on you have to cast. If you cast a spell as a bonus action, the only other spell you can cast that turn is a cantrip. So next time, cast it as a quicken spell, then you can cantrip afterwards.
Gotcha. Okay. Never mind then. Then that's all I can do.
That's all you've got.
Actually, no. As a bonus action, I'm going to cast Dragon's Breath on myself at 3rd level, just so I have that ready.
Yeah, you cut that. That's part of the same thing. So if you cast a spell as a bonus action, you can't cast a full. You have to cast a cantrip.
Darn. Just kidding. Okay.
I'm ruling you.
You're ruling me. You're ruling me real hard. All right, fine. Then that's all I can do.
At the end of your turn, Azara, this thing floating up in the air turns into a flurry of snow and appears next to you. It just kind of teleports behind you. Alyssa throws herself in the direction of the thing, but is knocked to the side as she takes a full blow of the creature's talons, sending her sprawling into a nearby building. Marcel, this thing is next to you guys now, within 5 feet.
Ooh, buddy.
Okay, I'm gonna, bonus action, summon my Shadow Blade, and then I'm gonna take 2 attacks with it.
Sure. Yeah, so you just charge in.
So first one is a 17.
Okay.
To hit.
17 is a hit. Yep.
Do you want me to do damage first or roll the second attack, see if it hits?
Do damage now. Yeah, do damage now. It's just a bit easier with any kind of resistance.
So that will be, what is it? 2d8. So that damage
is
using my Rime of the Frost Maiden dice on D&D Beyond.
Oh, get that cheeky plug-in.
Dealing 6 damage.
6 damage, okay.
And then the second attack is a 16 to hit.
16 still hits. Yeah, this thing is huge and it isn't wearing any armor, so striking it doesn't seem particularly difficult.
Okay, cool. Let me roll damage on that. That is 8 damage.
8 points of damage. Okay. So these 2 strikes, the Shadow Blade passes through its form, and you can hear this horrible kind of shrieking wind kind of picks up around you as it does. On the second attack, when the blow strikes Marcel, you do enough that you kind of, the strike kind of curves up pass through like the owl's cheek and one of the horns, and the horn kind of comes off and it turns to ice and snow as it hits the ground. And for a moment, the blizzard and the cold weather stops. It's still freezing cold, but that intense blizzard begins to calm down, almost as if the spell's been sort of interrupted or temporarily halted with that blow as it cuts through. Anything else on your turn?
Nope.
In that case, using the next legendary action,
of course.
Oriole will make an attack against you, Marcel. And this one will be we're going to use her Touch of Frost here. This is 2 legendary actions.
Oh,
That is a
no.
25 to hit you, Marcel.
Yes, Mark Hulmes, that hits.
Yes, that will hit.
Yes.
Yes, that will hit me. That is going to be 15 points of cold damage, and you cannot take reactions until the start of your next turn, as this ice and rime kind of coats over your body, slowing your movements and your body speed as you make your way through your actions.
Joke's on her. I don't have any reactions. Boom.
Got him.
Agni.
So she's in melee with us now?
She is. Yeah, the only one who's not is Tarkhal, because he moved 30 feet back.
That just sucks so bad for me,
I know.
because I just don't want her to be in melee with us.
You can disengage, take an action, disengage, move away. Hope that she focuses on Marcel.
But then I won't
Then you
do
don't
any
get to do a
good.
cool thing. Yeah, then you don't go do a cool thing.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna take my bonus action to cast Flame Blade.
Okay, that sounds pretty rad.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, a fiery scimitar appears in my hand, and
All those swords lessons that you remember from childhood,
Mhm.
mother would drill into you.
and then I'm going to make a melee spell attack,
Then that is fine. No disadvantages there.
and that will. Oh man, my dice are horrible today. I got a 12.
12 just barely misses this thing. As you strike out, it seems to sense this oncoming heat and dodges to the side as the flame scimitar burns through the air, sizzling snow and ice as it does so. Anything
That's
else
all
on
I
your
can
turn?
do.
That's the end of your turn?
I hold it menacingly in my reindeer fluff suit.
That is very true. I think at the end of the round, you hear desperate scampering as a white bunny-suited Aaron dives for the nearest, a couple of barrels and basically hides behind them. He's just like, oh!
That's fair.
He just dives behind them temporarily.
Valid.
Tarkhal.
So can I use a bonus action first to hide?
Yeah, you can. There's like all sorts of streets and buildings around. Yeah, you can absolutely try and do that.
Cool. So I'm going to try to hide, and then I'm going to try to throw my dagger at this lady again.
Okay. I'm just reading on this thing. Okay. So as you are moving around, you kind of, I'm not going to make you make the check because you don't realize this before you go to make the attack. This thing seems supernaturally aware of you, as if it knows, where any of these attacks potentially are coming from. So yeah, unfortunately, you do not. This is not surprised, and it is aware.
Big
of
sad. I'm gonna throw my Kiss of Silver angrily.
you. Yeah, you will still get sneak attack because you have an ally within 5 feet. So
Yes, which is dope. I rolled a 19 plus, I think it's 7, so it should.
Oh yeah, that will hit. The Kiss of Silver flashes through the air. Thankfully, thanks to Marcel's attack, the wind has died down. Otherwise, this attack would have been at disadvantage from the heavy winds blowing. But
Okay.
Marcel actually disrupted whatever was controlling the weather to an intense effect. So Kiss of Silver strikes true through the air.
Nice. So I rolled a 4 on the D4, so that's 8 plus 4, 12 plus 3, 15 plus 2, 17 plus 2, 19.
19 points. Yep. The dagger thuds into the creature's shoulder, and again you hear this kind of shrieking wind and howling ice, like ice scraping against itself, and it kind of snaps this big owl head with his beaks and horns in your direction. I see you. Is that the end of your turn, Tarkhal?
I'll just use my movement to, I guess I use my movement to hide technically. Never mind. I'll stop.
Okay, sure. On her turn, I should say, Oriole will raise these taloned hands to the sky, and around her summons an ice storm. So I would like for Marcel, Azara, Agnis, to all make, I believe that this is dexterity saving throws, please.
17.
17.
14.
14.
21.
21. Agnis is the only one that passes.
Like a reindeer, I leap.
You just managed to get out of the way. So half as much damage to this. So you're going to take half damage, Agnis, as you do so. But these huge chunks of hail and ice begin throwing down from the sky around Oriole, who seems completely unfazed by this as it does so. So that is going to be not very high on that. None of you have like resistance to cold, do you? So I can just add all of this together.
No.
I feel like I should as a fire druid, but no.
20 points of cold and bludgeoning
Yikes.
damage, halved for Agnis, so only 10. So, and it leaves these huge chunks of ice around in a 20-foot radius, just on the edges of where Tarkhal and Alyssa have been thrown. Like, you guys are just on the outskirts of this radius. But yeah, the rest of you are bombarded by falling ice and hail that forms this difficult area around you. And then it just turns, hunching its shoulders, bringing these talons to bear. And that is the end of its turn. Alyssa will stand up and charge at the thing. In fact, actually, yeah, it will charge into Oriole as she does so. First hitting on her first attack, but missing on the second. With a greatsword comes swinging down. The greatsword doesn't seem to have as much effect, not being a magical weapon. So it's going to be 10 halved to 5. She manages to strike one blow, and then she will actually shove you back, Azara, so that you're not within melee range. She kind of just shoves you back and then draws the blade. You can see that she's like bleeding from like part of her jaw. One of her arms is kind of hanging a bit loose from the blow that she took. But otherwise, Azara, your turn.
Learning from my last turn, I will first cast Quicken Spell. So I take away 2 sorcery points, and I'm going to first cast Banishment on this bitch.
Okay. Saving
Please
throw?
roll low.
I did roll quite low. What's the total? What's the DC?
Charisma 14.
Charisma. Oh, interesting. So that would still be, that's still actually quite high. This is actually still very high. 8 plus 9 is 17.
No! All right. Well, since that didn't work, I will
Just,
now I have a second cantrip.
Yes.
I'm going to use Firebolt. So that's 19 plus 7, I'm assuming hits.
that will hit, yes.
Cool. So that's 2d10. I have d10. There they are. That is 5 plus 4, 9, unfortunately.
9 points.
Of fire damage.
The fire kind of spreads over her fur, burning away parts of the cloak that's formed the wings. You can see that, you know, this form is now hunched. You can see kind of almost whimpering almost as it's been hurt. At the end of your turn, it's going to make a talon attack against Agnis. Azara, that is a 21 to hit Agnis.
Yeah, that hits.
Oh, it does. 7 for 10 points of damage total as these claws, these talons rake across you, kind of sending you sprawling to the side. But then Marcel.
Yep, I'm gonna take another 2 Shadow Blade swings. First
Running through
one
the air.
is 16 plus 7.
That will hit.
Mhm.
Doesn't seem particularly difficult to hit this being. It seems its large form.
The second roll was the second attack's a 17 total. That hit.
Both hit. Yep.
Okay, I'm just gonna roll some acoustic dice instead of digitally now.
Sure. Big fan of acoustic dice.
Dice unplugged.
Dealing 14 psychic damage.
14. You see this creature just clutch at its head as this otherworldly shriek penetrates the ice. Still standing, but you can see this kind of almost dark blue blood beginning to pour out of the corners of its owl's eyes, out of its beak, and it just turns in a rage. Anything else on your turn, Marcel?
Yeah, taking note of turning toward me in a rage, I'm going to Misty Step 30 feet behind it.
Yep, so you just kind of, woof, as it's turning around in rage, sensing that you've disappeared, it will turn its attention on the only two targets it really has left. One being Agnis, one being Elissa, and it will probably make an attack against Elissa, probably, because Agnis didn't hit it last time. So against Elissa, it will reach out with a frozen gauntlet, hitting for 3d8 of damage. That is terrible. That's 8 points of damage.
Oh, love to hear that.
But you can see that Elissa was already quite wounded by the first blow she took. But yeah, so you should see parts of like ice now spread up her plate armor, covering her. Agnis.
Okay,
this thing is heavily injured.
So if I understand correctly, everyone is about 30 feet away except for me and Elissa, right?
You and Elissa are the only ones within 5 feet. Everybody else is, about 30 feet at least. Or Azara is about 5 feet behind Elissa, so.
Okay. 5 feet. So Azara is about 10 feet away from...
From you, yes. She's 10 feet away from you.
Okay, let me tell you what I want to do.
Yeah, you tell me what you want to do.
First of all, I forgot that I had summoned my wildfire spirit. So the fluff that I'm getting that is that like in the blizzard, the wildfire spirit was like, whee! And like flew away for a second.
Yeah, sure. I love it.
But now it's back. So what I want to do is use fiery teleportation, which teleports, using my wildfire spirit, teleports me and anyone within 5 feet of me away. So I want to grab all my allies and teleport to where Marcel is. And then I want to and that'll work? I can do that?
It will work. You will have to, if you want to reach Azara, you're going to have to provoke one opportunity attack.
That's fine. I'll do it.
Yeah? Okay. So let me do that first. I mean, that's going to hit because that's like a 25 for a total of 12, 15 points of damage total.
Okay. Worth it.
Are you still up?
Yeah.
In that case, you reach Elissa and Azara, who are the only ones within range. You grab them, and then you're going to use fiery teleport, right?
Yeah. And
Tell me how that works.
So I imagine my fire spirit kind of like starts circling us and creates this like column of fire, and then we disappear and reappear. But in that same time, 1d6 plus 3 fire damage is done to whoever's within 10 feet of us. So
and it's not
I assume...
like a saving throw, it just deals the damage to everyone.
Yeah, oh no,
perfect.
Dex saving throw.
Dex
actually.
Saving throw. Okay. That is a fail.
Cool. So
I'm going to use a legendary resistance to succeed.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead.
So this thing throws its cloak around itself to protect.
Because I have not yet taken my action.
There we go.
So for my action, I will then cast Wall of Fire between my allies and the goddess. And so
so she brings this cloak, protects herself from this fiery teleportation, and then when the cloak drops, we just see Agnis kind of raising her hands up as this giant wall of flame erupts in front of her. Absolutely. And then that's another saving throw on the wall of flame.
Let's see. Dex, yes.
That is a 2 plus 3 is 5.
That does not succeed.
You don't even need to roll damage. You can do if you want, because or this form.
I want to because it's really fun.
You do that.
Okay. You said 2 hit points?
It had 2 hit points left.
So let's see. Hold on. 8 plus 12 is 20. 25 plus my fire spirit will be 31 fire damage.
You watch as this wall of flame engulfs this form, this creature's form. The fire explodes around, melting huge patches of the ice that has been snowed down onto the area where you've been fighting the main market square. And then you look, and there is nothing. There is no more creature. The ice shard holding your mother breaks, and almost appearing out of this prison, Vanathia returns, kind of gasping for air. You can see that her skin is all blistered with cold, but she's been holding this tiefling tightly to her. But she's blistered with cold, but alive, breath smoky. And there's a moment of stillness. And then you just begin to see fragments of ice kind of binding together, flying together, pulling up from the ground, pulling up from the eaves of the buildings, slamming together as it forms this feminine icy form with these giant spines of ice protruding from her body. I have wasted enough time with this. I must conduct my ritual. Enjoy what little victory you have. And then it just into mist and up into the air. But the temperature seems a mite warmer. The wind is less severe as she just vanishes away.
I think seeing this, like, bleeding heavily from, like, parts of her face, Azara's just like, see?
See what?
Yeah, see?
Marcel also like pulling the hell up. It's just like, oh, of course.
And she's like,
Sorry for doubting.
Do you hear wind? Isn't it warmer?
Fair point.
With this, to speed things up to a conclusion, Vanathia will basically, she tells you things are obviously more extreme than we realized. I am sending you home to Eveningstar. This is not a matter. I have some friends who can assist with this problem. There are many adventurers. I am going to bring them here. We are going to resolve this problem. But you, Eveningstar needs you. I will send you home, and then I will gather more allies. But we have proven to Brynshire that this creature can be defeated, that we can stand against it. Thanks to your actions, Magister Azara, all of you. You have done very, very well. I am very proud of you, especially you.
Did you see my firewall, Mom? Did you see it?
I am very proud. The druids who taught you would be very impressed, and I am very proud. And you have good hearts. But with that, she will teleport you back to Eveningstar, and we will wrap up this little D&D celebration adventure in a very quick fashion, as is always the case whenever I do these times.
Was that canon? Can that be canon? That was so dope. We defeated a god.
Sure. You guys want to make that canon?
Yes!
We can make that canon. It means that you can keep the bunny suits.
Yes, I get to keep my reindeer suit.
Yeah. We can absolutely make that canon, and you guys can have a discussion on how that all went next week, on next Tuesday, I should say.
That's exciting.
Yay.
Well,
awesome.
Thank you, friends. Thank you for playing. Thank you for enjoying this. Obviously, that's only I put a lot of twists in that. If you are looking to play Rime of the Frost Maiden, I've added my own spin to that. There's not any major spoilers in there. I changed things up quite a lot. So hopefully you can check out the module. But Oriole, you saw her first form. You can check that out and see what the second form abilities may have as well. But thank you for checking out D&D Celebration. Thank you for watching Knights of Eveningstar. We will be back Tuesdays, 4 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/D&D. Come and give us a watch. Come and check out how these lovely nobles and their advisors handle running a kingdom. Anything else? Anything? Should we do? What should we do? We got like 2 minutes.
Do quick shout outs?
Quick shout outs. Go, Anna.
I'm at Anna Prosser everywhere and twitch.tv/Anna Prosser. So if you want to see more roleplay from me, social media and my Twitch channel are the best places to find it. I tag Mica.
Hi, I'm Mica Burton. I'm at Mica Burton everywhere. I am not doing more RPGs, but I am doing lots of cosplay and video game shenanigans. So if you want to come check that out, my dog also has an Instagram. It's tagged on my Instagram. I'm tagging Nate.
Hi, I'm Nathan Sharp, known as NateWantsToBattle. I don't have too much going on. Thanks for watching, and I'm gonna tag Shady.
Hey guys, I'm Shady, and I am wrapping up another show on Thursday nights at twitch.tv/BrettUltimus, and I feel like I'm going to be doing more seasons over there. But if you want to catch the finale and you haven't seen anything else, come out this Thursday. It'll be fun. And I tag Mark.
Amazing, thank you. I'm Mark Hulmes. You can check out my D&D show, High Rollers. We were streaming earlier today, in fact. Come and check that out. That's the main show that I work on. You can check me on social media. Sherlock_Hulmes is my name. You've seen me around the D&D sphere. You know who I am. Come and check out my shit. That's it. That's it from us. Thank you very much. We hand it over for the ending stream of D&D Celebrations. Thanks very much, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.